Oxfam Nigeria has charged the federal government to invest in critical sectors to help bridge inequality gap between the super rich and the poor. Urged the federal government to increase taxation on super rich companies to help eradicate poverty in Nigeria. As the country director Oxfam Nigeria, Hamza Ahmad, called on the Senate to amend the Federal Inland Revenue Service Act. Speaking during a press briefing held in Abuja, Hamza Lawal demanded that the government should implement new era of tax.
Transparency in the process of granting and administering incentives is very, very important, because how do we elicit wider public discourse on the opportunity cost of elements? I already told you that close to 19% of our budget is gone into incentives. There should be a discussion. Do we really want, the 18% to be in our national budget, and we deal with the consequences of not having incentives? It needs a discussion, because there are political economic analysis that we need to make. So this paper is also calling for that, because we think this will strengthen public trust and provide opportunity for increased awareness of these fiscal instruments. The state might be doing it for good reasons, but most of us do not know. So we will only, speculate. So we urge the National Assembly to call on the federal government to, as a matter of agency, publish the tax expenditure report, which they are currently compiling as a way of demonstrating its commitment to transparency and accountability in the management of incentives. The Nigerian Senate is working towards amending the Federal Inland Revenue Service Act, towards regulating the processes of granting corporate tax holidays, duty waivers. We feel this is something that momentum has to be built by all of us to see the actualization. Competitive and profitable business do not have to be shackled by shareholder greed. Democratically owned businesses should better equalize the process of business. The administrative suspension placed on processing of pioneer status incentive applications, we understand, and a review by the Nigerian Investment Promotion Commission to allow for a more comprehensive review and reform of the incentive regime. In 2023, the National Bureau of Statistics reviewed its methodology for calculating the rate of unemployment in Nigeria, leading to a crash in the rate of unemployment. So originally we thought unemployment was 33.3% in 2020. Now it is more or less 5.3% based on Q4 figures.
Because if inequality persists, what we have is anarchy. Today, the Nigerian people cannot enjoy service delivery or social amenities. Over 5 trillion naira was given as tax levy. This is unacceptable. While the federal government is saying they cannot meet budget demand, and we're going to borrow, knowing that Nigeria is currently carrying a debt burden, and yet we're giving tax incentive for people who are profiting in billions of dollars within our economy. No, this is unacceptable. We need a new era of tax, a regime that ensures fairness, equity, and justice. Because again, if we continue like this will lead to state capture and anarchy.
However, the executive director CISLAG, Hawal Musa, disclosed that inappropriate taxation has affected Nigeria's economy negatively.
Absence of proper taxation system in the country is also one of the very reasons why government is losing a lot of money. You will agree with me, this fraudulent tax holiday that they do give to corporate agencies, if only they are using that money, they would have been able to address some fundamental developmental challenges that we have in Nigeria. There's no reason why, because you have interest in the company, you would go and give 5-year tax holiday, and there's no monitoring of the commitments that is supposed to come along with it, which is to say that if we give you tax holiday for 5 years, you should use the social corporate responsibility to help in terms of implementing education, healthcare system, and infrastructure. Nobody monitor whatever those corporate agencies or entities or companies are doing with that. So we are losing huge amount of money simply because of corruption. Because the people approving this tax holiday, they have a share in those companies, and that is why we have been pushing for beneficial ownership. because with beneficial ownership, we'll be able to identify and know who owns what, who is director. The recent scandal, again, PASA, exposed how government officials deviously use their own company, use their wives and children, and get this kind of either consultancy or contract or tax holiday. What happened in the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs is also a clear indication of how some powerful people within government are giving contract to themselves in violation of public procurement law.
Atonda Babatunde, GTV Africa.